word to the wise, if you want to save time, money, effort, and decrease the chances of you messing up your cake by having to flip it out the pan, crumb coat it, and do all that kind of stuff, what you can do is just simply bake your cake in the pan without the wax paper at the bottom or the parchment paper, and just simply cool it, decorate it, and then just cut it from the pan and serve it like that if you're just having a simple celebration. Serving your cake straight from the pan saves you lots of time and effort because you don't have to ice these sides, do a border, crumb coat it, flip it out the pan, and all that kind of stuff, and it's less of a headache. Actually, I prefer to eat it from the pan if I'm just having a simple celebration, but if I'm going all out and people are going to see the cake, then I flip it out the pan. So if you're interested in seeing how to flip the cake out the pan to look like a sheet cake, which it is, then continue watching this video. If not, if you just want a simple cake at home, then you can stop the video right here. At this point, I'm just going to trim my crusty side since I had to bake it so long. And right now, I'm peeling off the parchment paper that I had on there. And don't worry about the cake falling off, because we're going to shape this and we're going to crumb coat it. I know the first time I saw someone do this, I was like, what the heck are they doing? They're messing up the cake. But be patient, you'll see the results momentarily. Now you should use a serrated knife to get those crumbs. And I have my pastry brush. I'm just going to brush off those excess crumbs in my work area. Nice and moist. Now keep in mind, when you're using whole wheat pastry flour that's vegan friendly, your vanilla cake is still going to look kind of dark. And if I would have added the dark vanilla extract, it would have looked even darker. Now there are some cake flours out there that are purely white that you can use if you want that pure white looking cake. I'm still trimming and I'm making sure that my sides are even so I have an even cake. It's best that you cool your cake for about maybe 35 to 40 minutes before you even attempt to take it out the pan, even with the parchment paper lining. I'm going to transfer this baby to the cooling rack, and I'm going to let it sit there for about 20 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll begin our crumb coat, which is the first step of icing a cake that has been trimmed. As you can see that I trimmed a little more of my top off so I can have a more even cake. And since my cake is so moist, I can kind of just press it the way I want. Now let me share with you my simple syrup, which is just half sugar and half water, which I boil for about 5 minutes. I'm going to add some of this on with my pastry brush, and it makes the cake extra moist and extra sweet. Not that it needs extra moisture, but it's just something I like. It makes a big difference. If you use it, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now notice, if you did your cake right and you did your egg replacer properly, then your cake will not fall apart even after trimming. So don't fret. Just keep trimming. If your cake falls apart, then you may want to go back and check and see if you did the steps correctly. This is what they do in the bakeries, by the way. This is not some crazy idea I came up with. Okay, I'm sprinkling a little simple syrup on my sides. Trust me, if you eat this cake the next day or 2 days later, this simple syrup is going to make a world of a difference because it keeps the cake super moist. Just melt in your mouth. All you will need is a glass of milk with it. Never mind my counter. I'm so used to using it as a project table. It's just become all purpose for me. Okay, now we're going to resume the cooling process. A little more ice. You want to make sure you get frosting all on the edges of the cake. Just gonna skim as we go. Now we're gonna work our edges. Get over this so you can see what I'm doing. Don't worry about the board, it will be cleaned later after we finish decorating. I got music going. I don't like to talk while I'm crumb coating because I like to concentrate. So just enjoy my background music as I do this. I'm going to let this cake sit in the fridge overnight so the crumb coat can dry, and then we will do the final coat tomorrow. Alright, we are back from our interlude, and it's time to ice the cake. See how stiff the crumb coat is? And if you're looking at my cake board, yes, I did make this myself, as you can see, so I'm going to dress that up before I put it in the box. Because sometimes if you go to a craft store, it's hard to find the cake board that you're looking for or the one that will fit the perfect size cake. So you have to get creative and just use whatever's available. And sometimes it's just cardboard that you decorate with gift wrapping paper. Alright, we're going to just pile it on. And as we go along, we're going to scrape and trim with my baker's blade. Also, please make sure that your icing is thick enough and stiff enough so that it will not start sliding off of the cake. Because even if the cake is fully cooled, it can still slide off if it's not stiff enough. And if you're going to do a border, then it has to be even stiffer than your base icing. And just in case you're wondering what the base icing is, this is the base icing. Now it's time to border our sides. Alright, there's the border. Pretty good for an amateur cake. At least I think so. If you want to continue, you can go around the top and do the border, but I'm not going to mess with that. I'm just going to leave it as is because, like I say, it's a basic cake just to show you what to do. Because if your icing stays room temperature too long, or if you're in a room where you just got finished baking, the icing will start to sweat no matter how thick it is. And that is so annoying. Those edges are so tricky. Alright? Give it a try and let me know what you think. Peace out and happy vegan eating.